Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. So in this video, I'm coming to share my entire Orientica collection. I don't have that many. I have only 6, and out of the 6, only 1 is a full bottle, unfortunately, because Orientica prices are quite on the higher side. Generally, we are used to getting dupes, for like 50 and under. But Orientica is at the luxury sort of, spectrum in terms of Middle Eastern or dupe, fragrances. And a lot of us simply cannot afford their fragrances. Like myself, I really, not that I can't afford it, but I wouldn't want to buy like 5 Orientica fragrances at the same time, just like I do with other brands. I can afford to get like 10 Latafes at a go, but if I go with 10 Orientica fragrances at a go, it's going to affect me for that particular time. So I don't really mess with Orientica in that sense. However, they have some amazing fragrances. They have some amazing regal looking bottles. Even if you don't want the fragrances, the bottle alone, would make you want to have them. And I have just 6 of them, so I'll just start off with the minis here, and I'll start with the favorite one that amongst the 5 that the 5 that were in the mini set, and this is going to be Royal Blue. So this is Royal Blue. It's supposed to be a dupe for Perfume de Marly's Leighton. I already have a clone of Leighton in my collection, which is Loyal Agar by Luxidor, also a niche, dupe house. And when I compare these two, I honestly love the Orientica version, which is Royal Blue. I prefer this a lot more than Loyal Agar, simply because this one is much more smoother. Honestly, there's something about it which is quite special. Of the two, I prefer this one, and this one is much more closer to being a clone of Leighton as compared to Loyal Agar. I would say Loyal Agar is about 85 to 90% accurate clone, whilst this one is about 95 accurate clone of Leighton, in my opinion. I don't really normally pull this dupe out, Loyal Agar's version out, because I guess it has a masculine DNA, although to me it's sweet enough, that cardamom, that sweet vanilla, for women to also enjoy it on themselves. But I think I have too many fragrances now that I'm sort of relegating my men's perfume to the men and enjoying the feminine fragrances much more. So if you are looking for a great alternative, I would say go for this one. For some reason, I also feel like Orientica was sort of a bit late in coming up with some of these tubes, because they were released between 2021, the one that I'm showcasing today, between 2021 and 2022. And during that period, there were other dupe houses which had already replicated a lot of these fragrances. It was overly saturated on the market, and I just feel like they were a bit late, so a lot of people probably didn't get it because it would be redundant. For me, for example, if I had gotten full bottles of these fragrances, most of them would have been redundant, because I already had dupes which were manufactured way before these Orientica Orientica fragrances. So I feel like they were a bit late to the trend or to the market. The next one I have here is going to be Amber Rouge, which is obviously a dupe for Baccarat Rouge. And this one, a lot of people say it's a dupe for Baccarat Rouge. However, I feel it's much closer to Tiziana Terenzi's Spirito Fiorentino, which I have a clone here by F.A. Paris, known as Sienna. And these two really smell alike. The Amber Rouge and Sienna, they smell so much alike, because the Spirito Fiorentino version of Baccarat Rouge is much more masculine leaning, much more of that mossy, earthy background or base, and that is what I find in the Rouge version by Orientica. It's not so much of the original Baccarat Rouge to me. It is more of Spirito Fiorentino, with the mossy touch, or the slightly mossy, earthy touch. That is how Amber Rouge, links to me much more of Spirito Fiorentino than Baccarat Rouge. So that is going to be Orientica's Amber Rouge. The next one I have here is reported to be a dupe for Gentle Fluidity Gold by MFK. And I sort of have a hard time accepting it fully, simply because this one doesn't really, I've had all these for over 2 months now, so it's not like they are new to me. I've really, tested them out. I've allowed them to macerate, so I'm not getting like a freshly sort of, out of the box sort of, experience. And this one has sat for like 2 months. It gives me the vibes of Gentle Fluidity Gold, honestly, but this one has something which, separates it from the original Gentle Fluidity Gold. It's got this very pronounced grapes, like the fruit grapes, it's so or super pronounced in this one, whereas in Gentle Fluidity Gold we have that juniper berry, which is also sort of a berry, a berry infusion. This one smells like grapes, it gives me Meliora vibes. Honestly, this one gives me Perfume de Mali's Meliora vibes because of that berry, grape sort of feel that this one, is quite prominent, when it's not even from the opening, like throughout the life of the fragrance, it gives you that heavy grapes infused with that beautiful vanilla, and some caramel, whereas in Gentle Fluidity Gold, I feel that one is much more airier, much more lighter, much more simple in a way. This one is not complicated, but it feels a bit more heavy in some aspect to me, whereas with Gentle Fluidity Gold, I guess it's much more airier. That is how the two sort of comes across to me. I would say it's about 85% dupe. It is not like it's not like 95 100% dupe of Gentle Fluidity Gold to me. I guess feel like the grapes in this one has sort of steered this one towards a slightly different direction in the form of Perfume de Mali's Meliora. It's like a blend between Perfume de Mali's Meliora and then Gentle Fluidity Gold, in my opinion, simply because of that heavy presence of the grapes in this one. So, or the that grape berry like sort of black currant sort of feel. I get it so much in this one as compared to the original Gentle Fluidity Gold. So if you're looking for 100% accurate dupe of Gentle Fluidity Gold, I wouldn't say, it might sound strange or wrong to some people who have sworn that this one is an accurate dupe of Gentle Fluidity Gold. To me, it is really not like 100%. It's about 80 to 85%, but this is a very beautiful. If you want to treat this one as a standalone fragrance, I would really say go for that. It's a very beautiful one. I think of all the dupes that I have, the miniature that I have, if I were to choose a full bottle, I would go for this one. It is quite unique to me. It smells like I don't have Arabian Tonka, but I have a decant of Noir de Arabia by Paris Corner, and they smell about 90% similar. They smell very, very similar with that vanilla. That I think they have the same sort of vanilla, and they smell so much alike. So if you are looking for probably an Arabian Tonka sort of vibes, I would say go for this one, but it also gives me a mix between Gentle Fluidity Gold and then Meliora by Parfums de Mali. The next one I'm going to talk about is going to be Royal Amber, which is reported to be a dupe for Herba Pura, that's khaki Herba Pura sort of vibes, and I really, really get it. However, if I was supposed to compare it with another dupe, which is going to be Anna Beard I Am White, I think I'm going to go much towards this one, simply because this one is much more vanillic, whilst the Amber Rouge or the Latafa version is much more muskier and much more fresher, to me. I feel like this one was quite well made, very well made, I would say. I wouldn't say quite well made. I think it was very well made. I love the fact that you get that Herba Pura DNA, that fruity. You don't know exactly which fruit you're smelling. It's like a concoction of fruits, like a fruit basket, a fruit salad sort of feel with that heavy vanilla. I think what separates this one from other Herba Pura sort of dupes that I have come across is the heavy presence of vanilla in this one, which makes this one quite more expensive smelling or better quality, so I prefer this so much to the I Am White that I have in my collection. I think I've had I Am White for the past 2 years or more than 2 years, and I hardly pull for this one because I don't really like this one that that much. I'm just doing that comparison because of the fact that that one and then Amber Rouge are supposed to be the same sort of clone, and I prefer this one so much better. But generally or overall, that whole Herba Pura DNA musky fruity is not something that I have enjoyed thoroughly throughout my fragrance journey. So Between the two that I have, I would say I'll go for a full bottle of this rather than the I Am White by Latafa. So that is Amber, Royal Amber for you. The next one I'm going to talk about is going to be Oud Saffron, and this one gives me Shagaf Oud, Reseller, Oud Mood vibes, you know, with a hint, just a hint. I read something on Fragrantica and it resonated so well with me. Someone said it's like a combination of Shagaf Oud and what's her name? MFK's satin, Oud satin mood, you know, and I sort of get that, you know, vibes in this one. It gives me like 85% Shagaf Oud, 15% gentle fluid, no, the black one, you know, it gives me about 15% of that one, you know. But this one, because I already have, you know, I've had Shagaf Oud, I've even decluttered it, and I still have Reseller. I feel like, you know, they were quite late because if I'm not mistaken, this one was released in 2022, you know, 2022. So at that point, Shagaf Oud had already been out, Oud Mood had been out, Bawadi was already out. There were so many variations of that Shagaf Oud, Oud Bouquet, DNA, which were like already out and overly saturated in the markets, and probably that's why I personally didn't see a lot of people talking about this whole range, probably because of the price, or maybe accessibility, or because people already had like very similar DNAs. They didn't want any redundancy, you know, because it would have been redundant if we had gotten a bottle of this particular one around 2022, 2023, you know, when these ones were released. So this one is a good one. Honestly, the dried out is beautiful. There is nothing screechy about it. I get a very polished saffron in this one. It gives me something like a chocolatey vibes, just like the Reseller. To me, it is more of that Reseller, you know. Reseller is much more of that chocolatey vibes than Oud for Glory, which gives you that quintessential rose oud combo. Reseller is much more of a chocolatey rose oud combo, you know, and that is what I get in this one too. So I mean, if you have not tried any of those, you know, brands or houses, which will be strange to me, if you are a perfume enthusiast at this point, then I would say you can go for Oud Saffron. But the prices are still quite high, you know, as compared to like the Oud Moods and even Shagaf Oud that you can get for around 20 something or 30 something dollars on JOMASHOP, for example. Why would you want to buy something much more expensive for the same effect or the same experience? But I mean, to each their own. So that is going to be Oud Saffron by Orientica. And the last one I'm going to talk about is the only one I have in full bottle. I didn't go in blindly with this one. I knew what I was getting. It was reported to be a dupe for Fleur Narcotique. Even by the name, you would know that it's supposed to be in that direction. Fleur Orientica, Fleur Narcotique. And I love Fleur Narcotique, you know. I'll tell you the story of Fleur Narcotique. Hold on, I'll just tell you that story. Let me tell you the story about my bottle of Ex Nihilo's Fleur Narcotique. And I'm saying my bottle in quotes because, you know, when the hype was really on for Fleur Narcotique, I was really, you know, excited. I wanted to try. And I have a friend who was like, oh, she has someone who sells original brands and original, you know, perfumes, which are discounted. I don't know where they get them from. And I was super excited. I trusted her, got that bottle, only for me to get home and realized it was a fake bottle. So this is my Fleur Narcotique, you know. Although it's been, I have realized it's a fake bottle, I still love this one, you know, but I've never showed it on this channel because, you know, I don't feel right about it. I just know it's a fake bottle. You know, I at first I wanted to call her out. I wanted to ask her why she did that, but I just felt like, okay, maybe she also didn't know it was fake that she was selling, because for the price she sold this one to me, it was quite, you know, on the high side. So I assumed it was quite, it was the original, you know, bottle that I was getting. But unfortunately, I got a fake bottle from her, and I've never, you know, I never said anything to her, but I never bought anything else from her from that day. So I love the DNA. It gives you the exact same Fleur Narcotique, you know. It's a fake one, but honestly, it's fake, but they did a great job. And then from there, I wanted to get, I went to Maison Alhambra, and I got the narcotic flower. You know, it is very beautiful, like very, very beautiful. So narcotic flower was one of the few fragrances I was able to finish in 2022. And when I went to get Orientica's Fleur de Orientica, I knew it was going to be a dupe for narcotic flower or Fleur Narcotique, you know. And I'm super excited, you know, having this one in my collection. I've had it for about 4-5 months now. It's maturated beautifully. It was much more muskier when I initially got it, but it's smoothing out beautifully. You get a very it's like iced peach tea, you know, like very refreshing, that spa, like that water lily, some lotus, like aquatic, floral, musky, clean. That is what this one gives me. It's very beautiful. So if you're looking for something in the Fleur Narcotique, and I think people even compare this one to Perfume de Mali's Valleya. You know, people were like, this one is a dupe for Valleya, and I think I even did a video stating that this one is not a dupe for Valleya, simply because this one was launched like way ahead of Valleya. I think a year ahead of Valleya, so it couldn't have been a dupe. If anything at all, that took inspiration from this one. So that is all I have for you about my entire Orientica, you know, collection. I don't know if it's supposed to be called a collection since they are minis, you know, but to me it's a collection because minis, full bottles, they are still a collection in my opinion. I would love to have more in my collection, but for the price, honestly, the price, you know, that is all I have for you today. And I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.